from TimeStop Studios, working with Adobe PhotoShop CS3 Extended. In this tutorial, I'm going to go step by step and show you how to change someone's eye color. So what we're going to do is, before we actually get started, I want to make sure that your whole interface here matches mine. So come over to Window, left click on Window, and go to Workspace, and go down to Default Workspace, left click on that. That's going to reset all your tools to match mine. So your navigator and your layers are on the right side and your tool palette's on the left. Now I want you to pull in an image. Go to File, left click on File, and Open, and double click using the left click on your mouse on an image you want to pull in. If you don't see them, go up to View, and depending on how your adjustments are, you can click on Thumbnail View. I'm on Vista, so I'm choosing Large Thumbnail. So I'm going to double click on my image, left click, and that'll pull in the image. This particular image I took in the studio of this model. She was holding a broken mirror. That's her reflection. So this is straight out of the camera. This is no Photoshop work. However, you can achieve this in Photoshop, and I could show you that in another lesson if you contact me via email. Okay, coming over to your layers, right click, right in the blue area, and then left click and duplicate layer. I'm going to name mine Working because that's the file I'm going to be working on. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to be working with a quick mask. I'll explain as I go along, but first of all, down here where you see your black and your white, if you don't see black and white there, I want you to left click on the smaller squares, and that should reset so you'll see black. Make sure the black is in the foreground. This is the foreground. Okay, you're going to make sure, if you come over to Slice Tool and you count 1, 2 down, you're going to see Brush Tool. Left click and hold. Make sure Brush Tool is chosen. Then you're going to come over down here, right below the two squares, the black and the white, and left click on the quick mask. Now you're going to come over to your layers and you're going to notice that the blue went away. Still make sure that you're on your working layer, your top one. Okay, what you're going to do now is on your keyboard, you're going to see CTRL, which is considered control. So you hold that down, and then at the same time as you hold that down, hit A as an apple on your keyboard. You're going to see the dancing ants select the whole entire picture. Okay, what you're going to do now is you're going to apply the layer mask. It's actually the quick mask we're working with. So we're going to apply the quick mask to this entire image. So to do that, what we're going to do is hold down Shift on your keyboard, which is above the CTRL. Hold down Shift, and then above the number 5 on your keyboard, you're going to see F5. Hit that, and you're going to see contents pop up here. Make sure foreground is chosen, your blending mode is in normal, and your opacity is set to 100, and click OK. That's going to apply the quick mask, and you're going to see the whole picture turn red. Don't worry about that. It's not harming your picture, it's just the quick mask. Now what we're going to do is we're going to zoom in on the eye. Before we do that, I want to switch this over so that the white's in the foreground. That's so I can remove some of the layer mask, or the quick mask. I keep on saying layer mask, and another lesson I'll teach you about layer mask. But we're going to remove the color. Now we need to zoom in on it, so come over to your zoom tool, and I'm going to start up in the corner of the eye, top left hand corner, and I'm going to drag it in a 45-degree angle down to the right bottom of the eye, and it's going to zoom in nice and close because you always want to be close. Now I'm going to remove the red by coming up to the brush tool, left click on the brush tool. Make sure your brush is a little smaller than the pupil. If not, right click, and this diagram will pop up, and you'll see master diameter. You can control the size of your brush with this. The hardness, you don't want it too feathery. You know, the edge is too feathery. You want to keep it like right around 29-30%. And then left click so that that blue goes away, and then enter on your keyboard, and it'll make that diagram go away. Now I'm going to erase, left click on the mouse, I'm going to erase the red here to reveal the eye coming through. As I erase that, you'll see the layer show through from the other side. Now, don't worry if you mess up. Like say you're going through here and you go whoops. Now, if you go up to edit and undo the brush tool, you'll see it going back to where it was before. Now, you don't need to do that, and I'll show you why. If you erase all this and say you mess up, whoops, you can come over here and switch it back to the black, and you can put back the color, so you don't have to use the undo tool. So now I'm going to come back and switch it back to the white to remove, and I'll show you the reason why I'm doing all this. There is reason behind everything I'm doing here. So what we're going to do is remove the red. And once I do that, so that the eye shows through, I'm going to test to see if I got what I'm looking for, just by coming over back down here and click that quick mask again, and you'll see the dancing ants forming around the eye. Well, I could do a little bit better here, so I'm going to come back and click on this quick mask again, and I'm going to remove a little bit more of the red, so that when I click back on the quick mask tool here, it's going to show the dancing ants surrounding that area. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a copy of that eye right there just by holding down the control again on my keyboard, CTRL, and clicking the C as in cat one time. Alright, so I'm going to review this again. Hold down CTRL on your keyboard and then hit C on your keyboard once, and you'll see a little flash of an hourglass. That just made a copy of that. Nothing happened there. Now what we're going to do is we're going to hold down Control again on our keyboard and V as in victory once. Now the dancing ants disappeared. What that means is it just made a copy over here in the corner of that eyeball. So if I double click on layer using my mouse, left click, now I can write EYE, or depending on what eye you're working, you might put eyes or whatever. But right after I did that, I'm going to hit enter on my keyboard, and that will fill it in. So then I'm able to start working on this eye. That eye, you don't want to move it around at all, because then it won't be lined up with these other working layers. Make sure the eye's highlighted. Now we're going to go and change the color. I'm going to come up to Image, Adjustments, and I'm going to come down to Photo Filter. Now I'm going to make sure color is chosen instead of the filter. I'm going to double click on filter, on the color actually, and I'm going to choose a color. I'm going to choose one. I'm going to choose green. And you can choose whatever you want. And I'm going to click OK. Now if you see in the picture, it did change it very slightly. If I turn off preview, you'll see the normal eye color, and then I turn it back on. Now I'm going to increase the density of it, and I'll go a little dramatic so you can see the color change. Now if preserve luminosity, that's going to give a lighter effect of the eye. If I shut that off, you'll see it appear darker. This is preference. Whatever you want, whatever you feel. It's all about not just looking good. It's just when you look at the image, you want to say, wow, that's cool. So I'm going to leave it on preserve luminosity, and make your judgment on the density. And then I'm going to click OK. Now what I want to do is I have green that's covering up my catch light in the eye and the pupil. I want to erase that. So I'm going to come over and I'm going to choose my eraser tool, which is 1, 2, 3 tools down from your brush tool. Left click on that. If you hold down and the left click and the tool, this little palette comes up, you want to make sure eraser tool is chosen and not like magic eraser or background eraser tool. So now your brush tool size, your brush head, right click on that, adjust it. The hardness of it, keep it right around, it's your choice. You can keep it, I want to keep it halfway so it's sort of feathered and kind of rough edges too at the same time. So what I'm going to do is, I have it set for 23. It depends on the size of the eye that you're working with. Okay, I'm going to click so that this highlight right here goes away. Left click right in the center there, and then click enter, and then you'll see that palette go away. Now I'm going to erase using be very careful when you erase right here, and then erase if you have a catch light in the eye. I mean, I'm just doing this because I just want the catch light to reveal through. Okay. Now, if you have any problems and you step backwards, you can create another quick mask if you want to. And what would happen is make sure you're on your brush, and you can just go over top of that. But I'm not going to deal with that right now. What I just want to do is I want to erase the green out of this area. Just be very careful when you're doing that, and you'll see that come through. That's pretty much how you do it. If you have any questions, I'd love to hear from you. I'm going to zoom out. You can either hit the hand tool or the zoom tool. You can either hold down Alt and you'll see the minus show up. If you see the minus show up, you can hit down and it'll zoom out, or the plus sign zooms in. Or you can do Control on your keyboard and minus, that'll go out, and then you'll see the little plus sign next to minus. This is over by the numbers on your keyboard, the plus sign. And there you have it. Now if you come over here and you shut off the eye, you can see before and turn it back on, and you see after. That's how you do it. I'd like to hear from you. Contact me at Rafael at timestopstudios.com for any questions. If you're interested in different lessons, just ask me about the DVD. I'm putting together a DVD of several lessons on it. Okay, you take care and enjoy.